Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the video that I was talking about working on from the previous one. This is a video about what makes a boss fight good. What makes a good boss fight? And many games are well known for their boss fights. Dark Souls, Final Fantasy, the ever so lovely Monster Hunter, many games. Heck, Pokemon's got some good ones. Yeah. Boss fights. What makes a good boss fight? There's many things that can honestly shape an entire story around a boss, and they're kind of theming. And I'm gonna talk about the 6 things. It's mainly 5. 6 is just another personal preference for someone that you'll understand when I get to that one. But the first thing, the concept. The concept is very, very important. The idea of, hey, we want to make a boss, and this is what we kind of want to go for, which leads into the second one, design. Design is very important. There's many good designs. Personally, an example, the Knave from Genshin Impact is a good one. I really like the design of that boss. Gives me kind of like Eldritch Spider lady with scythes, or just gives the feeling that you're fighting death. That's a great one. Another thing, the boss has to fit in the area that it's in, which is another part of design. But design is a very important thing for me. I just think if the boss doesn't look cool or doesn't have a design that fits them, then it's not going to keep your eyes physically entranced on them. I feel like it's a very good thing to have a good design with a boss. Like, the boss doesn't look interesting, then your eyes are not going to be peeled to that boss. There's many examples of a good boss design, but I think there's some that just don't have good boss designs, or just aren't interesting via their design. Their designs do not match their story, their character, anything, and it's kind of just. But another thing going with design leads into it. Atmosphere. The atmosphere goes perfectly with the design of the boss because it's the design of where they're in. And I feel like that's a very important thing. If you're fighting fucking Death, Planet Destroyer of Nargakara, or something like that, and you're fighting in a Denny's, I mean, yeah, it's funny, but it takes the fear factor of you fighting Death, destroying the world's Nargakara. Like, I mean, it's simple. Which is kind of a problem. You know? Kind of a problem. Because there's many instances where you'll be fighting an enemy that just doesn't fit the atmosphere that they're in. And but there are some that fit fucking perfectly. Dark Souls does that the best, in my opinion. They do a fantastic job on atmosphere and the world design and everything. Fucking love it. It's great. Bloodborne does it the best, in my opinion, out of all of them. I'll take that back. Elden Ring, Shadows of Erdtree did fucking amazing with that. They did amazing. Monster Hunter Wilds, when you're fighting the Lana Marina, its fighting area is amazing. Now, I don't like it when it leaves the fighting area, because it makes it kind of just not really fit, but I love when it's in that area and you're fighting it. But atmosphere, a good example of this is Father Gascoigne, I think that's how you say his name, from Bloodborne, or I call him Gortash. I don't know why I call him Gortash. It's Father Gascoigne, but the first mandatory boss in the game takes place in a graveyard, And there's a lot of story behind it. You find the body of his wife there, which fits into his story. A graveyard could be symbolized as death, which that's kind of a common thing in Bloodborne, especially with the story of the father, Father Gascoigne, because he just became a relentless beast who craved nothing but killing anything that moved, and then eventually, sadly, took his wife with him when he went mad. But yeah, the next thing, and another thing going into that, Lauren's story. Lauren's story is I would put this as maybe a very top one, maybe number one. The Lauren story of a boss shapes their personality, their design, their character, all together. Many bosses have a good story. A good example is one of my favorite bosses from Hollow Knight, the Broken Vessel. You can tell when you go into that area that broken vessel isn't just for broken vessel. It was a broken being. They had nothing, and it eventually succumbed to the terrifying thing known as the light in Hollow Knight. Sadly, ended up making it go completely mad and become what it did. Honestly, Broken Vessel, its lore is very interesting. I'd recommend looking it up. It's not long, but for what's in there, it's interesting. And the next thing, difficulty. If you're fighting the final boss of the game, and then the final boss is easier than the first boss in the game, I think this is a common thing. I don't think that's fun. That if the boss is easier than every single boss in the game. Now, I do like when a secret boss, or there's a side boss. For an example, Malenia. That is my example. Malenia is harder. No, I'll take that back. I did not find Malenia harder than Radagon. I think Radagon's harder than Malenia. Now, I do think Malenia is harder than Elden Beast. But Malenia is a good example of a good, difficult boss. Now, I do have my complaints. I think the fact that the hitboxes are longer than the actual blades themselves, kind of dog shit. But overall, love the difficulty of that boss. I had a lot of fun with that one. Which, not my favorite Elden Ring boss for Souls boss, but one of my favorite when it comes to difficulty. But that's not what we're here to rate. We're here to rate everything. Animation is that's a personal thing for me, for someone who's going into animation. I fucked up that sentence, but yeah. Animation is a very important thing to me, because the fact that if you have a boss who has a good design, a good story, a good concept, and good arena, and you tie that fucking bow with animation that is fantastic on top of it, oh my god. Holy fuck, that's amazing. That's the big bringer there. Now, I'll admit, there's some bosses don't really need crazy animation, for real. Depending on the game and all that. But if you're playing an open world, AAA game with high graphics, high resolution, and the boss is doing this entire time, it's not gonna look cool. Which good animation goes with a good design perfectly. Like it's what makes kind of like neatly ties it all together. And I asked a couple of my buddies, my pals, Palorinos, to tell me what their favorite bosses were and give me a quick little description of them. My dear buddy, the first one, my dear buddy Pal. I've been summoned. You want to say hi?
Hello.
Do you wanna do your boss? Since you're in here. Levi, what's your favorite boss?
My favorite boss is Mesmer the Impaler from Elden Ring.
Can you tell me why?
Now, I like Mesmer, number one. I mean, he's just cool as fuck.
Agreed.
He's got
Aura Farmer.
He's got cool attacks. He's obviously Aura Farmer. But he's a depiction of how early childhood trauma and directed parental affection can warp your later image of your own parents to the point you don't realize what has happened until it's too late.
Deep. And I do feel like Mesmer was just a tool to
Mikola.
I'm sorry. America. He just felt like he was being used as a tool, which I.
And then when she realized that he could surpass her, she got rid of him out of fear. And it was under the guise that he was helping her, thus more.
Yeah. America, for sure, going down as the worst parent in fiction.
Exactly.
No. I'll take that back. The father from Full Metal. But,
yeah.
She's going down as one of the worst fathers in gaming. Not...
Worst father.
I'm fucking tired,
technically.
Parent. Well, technically. I'm not wrong.
But,
mother/father. But, yeah. For sure. Jesse, you wanna tell the people what your favorite boss is since you're in here? Or Mr. Banjo?
Bootleg Banjo.
Bootleg Banjo. Yeah. You wanna tell them what your favorite boss is?
King Boo from Luigi's Mansion 3.
You may have to speak up just a little bit more, but yeah. So why do you like?
I don't know why, but I just like Luigi's Mansion. I love all the Luigi's Mansions, so.
So is it just kind of like a nostalgia thing?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. But yeah, let's go over the other ones. Pal, being the Kingdom Hearts fan that he is, sent me his favorite boss, which is Roxas.
Of fucking course.
Yep. Oh. But yeah, his favorite boss is Roxas. Yeah. And this is what the note he sent me. The boss itself was both intense and sad, as Roxas is fighting to exist as him. Which, if you don't know, quick little spoiler, Roxas is pretty much a part of Sora. But he doesn't want to be a part of Sora. Which is sad. As he is the nobody of Sora, and the music shows as it's a soft piano starts playing more intensely as Roxas is pushed to the brink. And the boss theme is the theme of a friend he had to kill and then forget. It's an emotional thing. I feel like bosses have really good emotional storytelling when it comes to certain ones. Like when you're fighting personally, when you're fighting, who was it? Fuck. Drawing a blank, guys. Like Gortat. Not Gortash. The father from Bloodborne. The story behind it, if you know it going into it, and then especially if you use the music box, you can see him try to fight back, try to take a sense of humanity back and save you, but he just can't. He's lost to his madness. I feel like that's just an important thing, is the storytelling. He also said another boss by itself is up there. Lingering Will, which is personally my favorite. I've never beat or never fought, or I've been working on playing Birth by Sleep, but Lingering Will, I looked at the lore behind it, and then also have been playing and looked at the lore of Birth by Sleep. Hurts. Lingering Will on its own is a great boss, and the lore is damn good if you have played the games. Lingering Will, fire recommendation. Roxas, fire recommendation. But yeah, then my friend Deli, good old Deli, good old pal of mine. I'd recommend checking her out on Twitch. Let me get you that name, because I forget the full thing. Mother Delirious _ or Delirious _ CHVR. I'd recommend go checking them out. Great person. But go check them out on Twitch. Go check them out on YouTube. But yeah, going back, she says William Birkin. She says it is a 100 out of 10 boss. I love the fact that he has so many creepy forms. So, to explain what William Birkin is a boss that kind of changes over time. You'll repeatedly fight him, but every time he'll get more and more corrupted into this abomination. And the more and more he'll lose his humanity as you watch him. And it's kind of sad after each transformation, because you see a human go from a human to an absolute unrecognizable abomination, which is hard. My dear friend Boomer never lets me down with bosses recommendations, but one of my personal favorites, but he's not in the top 10. I'm sorry, Boomer. I'm sorry. Margit/Morgott from Elden Ring. He is the first actual boss of the game that you encounter in Elden Ring. And he died a lot, he said. I died a little bit. I didn't die as much as him, I gotta admit. But, and when I beat him, the game was still challenging. It does not let up. And that's fair. That's what he said. I agree. But none of the bosses gave me that same feeling until I made it back to the capital for the first time and ran into him again as the final boss of that area. And he absolutely wiped the floor with me again. He said I died a lot more than the first time, and it made me feel like I was fighting him again for the first time, which is that nostalgia that I talked about with Jesse. Nostalgia is a good thing, and honestly, I mean, yeah, sometimes nostalgia can be like bad, because like you'll like a game and then it's actually, you go back, it's nostalgic, but it's dog shit. I've had many times of that. I was lucky. But yeah. But nostalgia for like that one's perfect to explain. The nostalgia that Boomer got from fighting him the very first boss, and then fighting him as one of the last bosses in the game, and he have all sorts of new movesets. Like, Elden Ring did that perfectly. Did Margit's storyline and like progression when you get him to him again. There's a mosquito flying around my face or something. But yeah, honestly, great recommendation, Mr. Boomer. Check him out on TikTok. I don't think he posts anything, but go check him out. Yeah, also go check out my boy Dark Pal on YouTube/TikTok. My friend Porter, love this man. He is a if you have seen anything with me and Porter, he's an MGS fan, Metal Gear Solid. Which his favorite boss, because he is a massive Metal Gear Solid 3 fan, is the boss from Metal Gear Solid 3. Because she is what technically starts Metal Gear, for David at least. And she is literally what made Naked Snake or Big Boss. Technically, you can argue, if the boss didn't exist, Metal Gear itself wouldn't. Or at least it'd be vastly different. Sorry, I'm bad. I can't read. I'm stupid. It'd be vastly different, especially Big Boss' story. Hell, if she didn't die, Naked Snake wouldn't. I mean, he wouldn't be who he is. He would have still have his full loyalties to the United States in the story, and his ideals wouldn't be his. It would have been the United States, which, yet again, the story helped make that boss what it was. It was one of the key points in the very large puzzle of the Metal Gear storyline. And I hope one day they make a game where you play as the boss and you go through the events of, I'm trying to think, it was the Second World War. Yes, the second. And because if you didn't know, I think she was the one who stopped the Second World War. It was the second or it was the first in the Metal Gear universe. I can't remember. But honestly, that is a great boss recommendation. Again, I've been wanting to play through Metal Gear Solid 3 on the channel, and I want to do 5 because 5 is my personal favorite. I love my boy Venom Snake. But my friend Buck, good old Buck, recommended a game I haven't played, but I've been two of my friends talked about it. I kind of want to play it. Skulls. Skulls has a boss that is very reminiscent of one of the bosses from Hollow Knight. If you'll understand if you played Hollow Knight after I explain what this boss is. He says, my reasoning for liking the Chimera from Skull is that it's a fake out boss. For the first portion of the fight, right when you're about to fight, you think you're fighting a king's mad scientist who experiments with I'm guessing dark magic, and does it on his own people until the Chimera comes out of nowhere and crushes the boss. That's just a good design in many games. I feel like there's one in Hollow Knight, which is when you're doing, I don't think it's God Tournament. I think if you're doing not the tournament, the normal like tournament. I think there's a boss that literally just comes in and crushes a guy who's like, oh yeah, I'm a strong warrior. Yeah, come on, get ready to fight. Just dies. It's just a fun little trope that people do with games, and I think it's interesting every single time. It's kind of funny. But yeah, it literally just comes in and crushes them. The thing is fucking huge, apparently, from what I've seen. Giving the feeling that you might be screwed. But the thing I really love of the boss is the design. I looked at the design. Pretty cool. I mean, it's a pretty cool idea for Chimera. But yeah. He said it gave him Dr. Frankenstein vibes, and I can see that with how I've looked at it. It is a good boss. But yeah, that is a good one. But that is the end of the list. I have one that I had one for my friend, but I don't have that saved, sadly, because he didn't make up which one was his favorite, which is understandable. There's a lot of good bosses, but my personal top 10 tier list. Honestly, I did make this tier list before I played Elden Ring Night Rain. It might be a little different now, but I'm gonna just go with this current tier list. I'm still kind of deciding if I like it in my top 10 enough, that boss. But we're gonna go from 10 to 1. 10, my top 10. So number 10. This is a nostalgic moment, and it was just a fun conclusion of the story of the game. You got any? If we got anyone whoever watches this, and we got anyone that's a Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon fan, y'all understand. Dark Matter from Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon was a great climactic finish to the game. Even though the design was just an orb and kind of felt weird for Pokemon, the story behind it, the overall kind of arena, the gameplay, all of it was just perfect for a boss. And Dark Matter was just one of the best climactic endings to a boss I had seen. And honestly, I think it's on here mainly because of nostalgia, which, yeah, but it honestly, in my opinion, it was a good boss. Some people may argue it's not, but I think it was a good one. Number 9. Mainly the first part of the boss isn't all that good. Borderlands 2, Handsome Jack / the Warrior. Fantastic. Loved it. It's fun to cheese. It's a fun boss to cheese. But Handsome Jack and the Warrior, fucking fire. Jack is just one of my favorite villains in gaming, and the Warrior is an absolutely dope design. I love Handsome Jack's design. Both two great designs. Handsome Jack's boss fight, kind of meh. But when it goes into the second phase where you fight the Warrior, that's when you gotta lock the fuck in. That boss is awesome, man. I absolutely love Borderlands 2. It is one of my favorite games. And it was a good climactic ending to Jack's storyline, which Jack, like I said, is one of my favorite villains. And you kind of see, after you kill them, that scene where that quote, the quote of Handsome Jack was just, oh my god, fantastic writing. They actually did a great job with writing Jack as a character and all of this, and then the whole everything leading up to the Warrior was just fucking amazing. So the story really made that boss fight what it was. I really like the Warrior. I think it's a great design. The arena was awesome. And you actually had to like maneuver and strategize on get out of the lava, move over here. It was a fun boss. Now, it's easy to cheese. Like I said, it's very easy to cheese, but it's a fun fight in general. Number 8, Dark Souls 3 fans, Abyss Watchers. Yes, Abyss Watchers is an amazing boss fight from Dark Souls 3. It has some of the moves from Artorias, but I just like the idea that their whole thing is to kill the Abyss, or the power behind it, and then all of them get filled with it, and so they just straight up start killing each other and can't stop killing each other because they're constantly in this cycle, which awesome. Peak writing when it came to that. And then the fact that when you see that one and then it gets up a second one, you're like, I'm fucked. But and then it starts helping you, and you're like, oh, okay. Difficulty was amazing on that boss. The other two that I listed, they weren't too hard, but this one was good. I really like the Abyss Watchers. Phase 2, one of the coldest cutscenes when it activates. It's great. The opening cutscene to the fight's great. Number 7. So I did a playthrough. It's called, it's on the channel. I did some Elden Ring stuff. I didn't post this fight. I wish I did, but I didn't even think about doing it at this point. Roana, the Twin Moon Knight from Elden Ring. I did it. When I went into the DLC, I for my first attempt with it, I did no armor. I still need to beat it. I'm on Radahn, or Consort, whatever you want to call him. But Roana was the first I have to lock in moment, because she would almost one-tap me because she hit hard. Actually, a great design. I think she has one of the best knightly designs in the Soul series. I probably made some people mad saying that, but I don't really care. I think it's a great design for a knight armor. Then again, I just think female fucking characters can be the most badass characters sometimes. And she's just a prime example of that. The story's a little interesting. She doesn't have too much, but she's interesting. Which I think's kind of cool. Animation in that fight. Chef's kiss. Someone who's working to someone who's working to their degree in animation. Y'all did yourselves from soft on that one. That one was great. Keep it up, bro. That one was fire. Especially it's phase 2. No, it'd be phase 3. Phase 3 when she drops the fucking moons and shit. And that shit got me. That was what I died to the most. I could not get past that. I struggled. There's another one. Here's another one. As a Monster Hunter fan, my first game into the series wasn't a mainline game. It was a spin-off. A very well-known spin-off. Monster Hunter Stories. Monster Hunter Stories had an amazing story. I'd be scared if it didn't have an amazing story with its name being Stories in the fucking name. But Monster Hunter Stories was great, man. It was a great game. And one of the greatest climactic finishes I've seen in a game was, I might butcher this name, so please forgive me, but Versa Pietru from Monster Hunter Stories 1. Bro, the design was this big dragon that was a world-ending threat. And then I like the mane and the horn. I just thought that it was like a lion if it met a dragon. I think it was just an awesome design. Honestly, great design. Simple but good. And this might be another nostalgia one, but bro, that fight, the animation, the cutscene, ooh, that final cutscene, ooh, fire. But it was just an entertaining boss, and honestly, very fun. I think it deserves this spot for sure. That was a great first game to get into. I recommend if you played the mainline games, if you haven't played the normal spin-off Monster Hunter Stories, play it. Dude, play it. It's so good. Number 5. A game that I played, got to Radiance, and then lost all of my Switch data, and got cucked out of beating Radiance because the void didn't rise up. I think it was a glitch. I don't know. The void just didn't rise up in that, so I was kind of died. That was me dodging. I'm not on drugs, I swear. But Hollow Knight, the Hollow Knight. All I have to say, one word: cinema. The design, coldest in the game, in my opinion. People say Grim. Yeah, I'm sorry. Love you, Grim. But the Hollow Knight, hard-ass design. The fact that it literally is hurting itself during the fight to try to gain back its sanity. Like, it's trying to gain hold of itself, so it's literally hurting itself to snap out of whatever it's in. Just crazy. The arena, how it was shackled. Bro. The story, I don't even need to say the story. Play fucking Hollow Knight if you haven't. It's great. You will fall in love with the Hollow Knight boss. Pure Vessel as well. Pure Vessel is the same thing. It's all perfect. The animation wrapped up in a bow was perfect for that game. I think honestly that was the 10 out of 10 boss for me. I don't really care for Radiance. I don't like her after that incident where she just kind of sat there while I was getting dog shit on by her and the void didn't rise up. But I just think the Knight's a cooler boss. He's not necessarily difficult because I did him first try, but he's fun. He's really fun, and he may be one of the easier final-ish bosses in the game, but there's not much I can say about it. If you haven't played it, go check it out. The story behind him, very depressing, but very good. Similar to kind of how, similar situation to Mesmer, on where he had a parental figure that didn't do the best at their job. Which the whole story behind him was that he was supposed to be void of all emotion in order to contain the corruption in the world of Hollow Knight. And the problem is that his father loved him, which is kind of sad. He loved him too much, and it gave him, he wasn't hollow, so it proceeded to take over the corruption, took over him, and sadly he ended up becoming what he became, which his dad kind of fucked up and didn't do the best, which is also the main character's dad, but / reincarnation. But it's an honestly really good story. I'd recommend go playing it if you haven't. It's hard, it's fun, check it out. Another one, a little bit more of an obscure one. I liked it. I really like the game. It's probably one of my favorite games, maybe top 5 favorite games of all time. Signalis. One again, as in general, as a game, yet again, peak cinema. It was great. But there is a boss in it, the final boss, Flaky, who is the head of the military of the area that you're in Signalis. Her being controlled by Ariana and all this other stuff, all the flashes, all of the how the screen started to fuck up the fight the longer that you didn't fight it and beat it. Crazy. 2 tries. Fucked up the first because I could not see and I was blind. I was too far away from my screen. But yeah. Honestly, fire ass boss. Great design. Editor, can you put like the designs of each boss on the video? If you can do that. If you can't, okay. But just great design. She's honestly one of my favorite for sure. That's why she's in my top 4. But for real, Flaky was a good final boss to a climactic end. I feel like the climactic end is always important, especially if it's a final boss. And I think that's what can save the game in the end, is if the final boss, like, to fully make it a 10 out of 10 if the final boss has a very good climactic ending. Now, I will admit, Signalis has clunky gameplay. Gameplay is a little clunky, but do I still like it? And did I get good? Yes, I did. I got good. And honestly, fucking fire boss. If you haven't played Signalis, check it out. It is my favorite indie game of all time. It is absolutely amazing. Check out the game. Made by two people in Germany. It's a very, very interesting game. It's a little horror, so if you're scared, but it's not that scary in my opinion. But also, I don't get scared a lot. There's only like one thing that scares me. But I recommend fighting that boss. Great. I can't recommend Signalis enough, man. It is honestly one of the best written sci-fi horror stories I have ever seen. It takes inspiration from series like Evangelion. I'm a huge Evangelion fan. It takes inspiration from Silent Hill, old school Resident Evil, all these fantastic games that just, man. And it wraps it all perfectly into sci-fi, which I thought would be hard, but it did it. It did it. For real. I just can't believe it. They did so well on it. The next one, number 3. Number 3, my personal favorite Souls boss. This will probably change because I've been playing through Bloodborne, and I've also been playing through Night Rain. But this may change. Romina, Saint of the Bud, bro. Going into that arena, the arena that it's in, the animation, the butterfly shit, the Scarlet Rot, increasing the difficulty, the design was great. This was also on the No Armor playthrough. Remember that. She was great design. She had the body of a centipede with the tail of a scorpion and then the humanoid figure. Her war, she just said, "Screw you. I'm gonna become the vessel of a god because America screwed her over and killed her people. So she said, I'm gonna become the vessel of the god of Rot and screw you over." And she wanted to keep her people kind of alive via memory. So she wanted to be kind of eternal. So she just did that, and I think it was honestly a great story for her. I think she's awesome. Her difficulty, she beat my ass. I can't say anymore. She was great. She was balanced. She was fun. But playing No Armor with Elden Ring, Shadows of the Erdtree, honestly just kind of set this apart for me. It kind of made the game. But, yeah, honestly, great boss. Yet again, I don't think many people haven't played Elden Ring, but go play it. Go play the DLC. I'd recommend doing it with no armor because it's just a lot more fun in my opinion. You may call me a psychopath. I just like being able to move fast. I like being fast. And being a melee maestro. Number two was, man, my number two. I have fought this boss twice in my entire life. And honestly, I could fight it 5 more times. 500 more. I honestly really love this boss. Number 2, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Ultra Necrozma. If you know, you know. Technically, in my opinion, the hardest boss in the game. Okay? Bro. That bitch will wipe the floor with you. It is known as the ultimate run, ender, and Nuzlocke, which I did a Nuzlocke, and now I lost 2 fantastic Pokemon to it, and it still hurts to this day. I lost my Noivern, and I lost my Hawlucha, and then my boy Trevorant finished it off. It was like a fucking anime with how it went down. But honestly, really love Ultra Necrozma. Great boss. Its lore is in my opinion, the best lore for any Pokemon. Personally. Now, people will say, "Oh, Garatina or Darkrai." I don't know. I might be glazing Necrozma a little bit, but Necrozma's story, gas. Cinema. I really do think Necrozma was the coolest design, and I'm gonna tell you about how I met Necrozma. I met Necrozma, the mountain that you first find in Pokemon Moon. Yeah, I didn't go to that until after the entirety of the game, and I had 80% of the Pokedex, and I went there so I could get a Rockruff, because I didn't have a Rockruff, and I went in there, and I got a goddamn fucking Necrozma pulled up, like, what the fuck? And it started beating my ass, and I had to catch it. I was trying to catch it, but it kept beating my ass. I had to do several attempts of trying to get that bitch. He kept beating my shit. Well, okay, pause. Editor, cut that out. But he kept beating me to death. And it was not fun. But yeah, I honestly really like that boss. Fantastic. It was the first time I fought it. Terrified. It actually destroyed me. Destroyed my team. My Nuzlocke, I don't know if Trevor didn't pull that through. I didn't think anything else would have. I think Trevor had the most health. He was slower, but he had the most health, and he barely lived. He was honestly, Necrozma was honestly probably my favorite legendary, my favorite story from a Pokemon, my favorite story in Pokemon. And honestly, I can't wait to see if they do anything else with the Ultra Pokemon universe, the Ultra thing. I like that. Many people didn't. I like I said, I don't care. I mean, I liked it. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. But now, honestly, my last one. Kind of a more obscure pick. If you know, I've been playing Code Vein on the channel. And if you've watched the Code Vein Part 2, the boss that I fight in it is my favorite boss in all of gaming. The Invading Inquisitor. She is this tall water lady. When she comes in like a shark. But then you see, oh, that's not a fin, that's a leg. Then she pulls out a goddamn sickle staff, and then starts doing tricks on it. She's pole dancing while she's beating your ass. And then the animation's nothing too crazy in the boss fight, but when she is doing the tricks on her staff, it's kind of cool. The arena, burning oil rig in the background, you're sitting in water and she's like just sliding across it and all that. It's just cool. A great design, great concept. The story behind it, and when it interrupts the scene just to say, hey, y'all thought y'all were leaving and taking this girl with you? No. Y'all are dying here. You're in my domain. You just think you can walk in here and all nilly-willy and think that you can leave? No, that's not how this works. No, she comes in and starts beating her ass. She's not necessarily hard. I do not think she's hard that much. I think she's a perfect difficulty for an early game Souls-like boss. I think she's fun. She's balanced. Her animation's great. Her cutscenes are good. Apparently there's a version. I might be tripping here, but like, I think there's a way if you go through the dungeons, you can find a harder version of it, which I'm ready to do when I get back into Code Vein and we'll try to finish it. But yeah, man, fun boss, great design. I just like the idea that you're fighting this aquatic, tall, humanoid creature woman that is beating you to death with a pole dancing sickle spear. I think that's just cool, for real. It might sound a little goofy, but you know if you've played the boss. Now, a lot of people don't like Code Vein. I like it. I'm excited for the second one. I know I don't think my favorite boss will return in it, sadly. I would like a version of it, but they probably won't. But dude, she is an awesome boss. Like I said, I think most of my list is let me see, 1, 2, 3. Four of the bosses on my list are just badass females. I think the idea that there's this badass woman who's beating you to death. I feel like female characters are just awesome when it comes to when they're done right. When they're done right. Now, I'm not gonna say every female. Just same thing for every male character. In general, if they're done, in particular for me, if I think a female character is done perfectly, I would put them above male characters, because female characters are just badass. I think they're more badass than male characters when it comes to if they're done right. But yeah, I really, really love the Executioner. She's awesome. She's cool. And honestly, I would love to fight the hard version of her in the dungeons that are in Code Vein. When I do fight her, I will be streaming that. Come check me out. I'll be streaming Code Vein probably sometime next week. This video, I have been recording for almost an hour on this video. Jesus Christ. But yeah, guys, come check me out. I'll be streaming. Shout out to all of my friends that I said earlier. Shout out to Mother Delirious, or Delirious _CHVR, Curvy _Ty. Both Delirious and Curvy are on Twitch and YouTube. Check out my boy Dark Pal /PalMcElroy on either TikTok or YouTube. None of my other friends do anything like this, but yeah. Editor Pal, you my goat. I'm sorry I'm gonna send you a almost hour-long video to edit. This is kind of how editing works. This video will probably be a little long, but more content like this is gonna be coming to the channel. I have ideas. I want to do more, but thank you for everyone who will watch this. Please come check out my streams. I'm doing a playthrough of Code Vein, Signos, and Until Then. All of those different ones at different intervals, obviously. But come check me out. I'll be playing those. When I'm done with those, I'll probably pick up a Bloodborne playthrough. I've been playing that off screen, enjoying it because Bloodborne is my favorite game. But yeah, come check me out. Come check out my friends that I promoted. But y'all have a lovely day.